Everyone, today we have an Kashish Juneja with us, an active open source contributor who started with GSOC and later joined many open source programs. She has gained valuable insights, experience along the way. Let's hear about her journey. Welcome, Kashish. So, can you start introducing yourself and share how you started with open source?
Okay, so hello, I'm Kashish Juneja. I'm pursuing MCA from IGDTUW. Well, I started my journey of open source in the October last year. It was GSOC. It was Girl Script Summer of Code that I have begun my journey with. It was in the month of October, and after that, in the month of January this year, I've contributed to Social Winter of Code and SnowScript Summer of Code of IGTTUW. So these are the three platforms that I have contributed to yet.
Oh, that's great. And what was your experience like in programs, GSOC and your these program?
Okay, so the first program was GSOC. Let me clarify. There is a GSOC, Google Summer of Code, and this is we are talking about another GSOC, Girl Script Summer of Code.
Okay, okay.
So I hope the viewers don't get confused with it. So the first program that I contributed towards GSOC. Because since it was first, it was kind of very overwhelming. This was the first time I get to learn how to use GitHub and everything about open source. Before that, I didn't even know what an open source program is and nothing. So because this was first time, and luckily this is the best program to start with as per my experience, because they're the managers, the organizers, they are very helpful. They even get me started with GitHub. They had an academic learning cohort. They had those sessions and they actually taught us how to use GitHub. It because then after their teachings, I went to YouTube and then I also learned from there. Just a one crisp GitHub tutorial, it was good to go. And then when I had to contribute to the second and third program, I was kind of had a smooth experience with all the GitHubs and how to contribute, how to make PRs, and how to clone. Like it was kind of I got kind of comfortable after that. So that was it.
Okay, that's what are the key skill beginners should learn and before contributing to the open source projects?
Firstly, the thing that you definitely need to acquire is have patience, because GitHub is very tricky. GitHub is very tricky to learn because well, like you are a beginner there. In GitHub you have to go through every technical term like fork, clone, and pull requests, issues, and there are so many other things. And as a beginner everyone get confused, so you have to keep the patience to get through. And the second thing would be a habit of reading, because in GitHub, I mean, in while you contribute to open source, it is the best practice that you go through their guidelines, you read all the rules, you have to read all the codes that have already been generated or your fellow contributors are contributing to. So you have to have the habit of reading. The third would be learning GitHub.
Okay.
And you don't need to learn everything at once. You just learn 4 5 things like how to fork, how to clone a repository, how to commit, how to raise an issue, how to get your issue assigned, and at last you have to know how to raise the pull request. That's all
Okay.
you need to learn. And just plus one more thing, many people don't know about this. GitHub, you people use those technical terms like they would get add dot push something. But as a beginner, if you don't want to grab mug up those commands, you can use there is an application, GitHub Desktop. which provides you an interface to get the process smooth. So you can just instead of writing a command to create a pull request, you can just go there, and there will be an option to do this, and you can easily do this. It just makes the process simpler and easier for the beginners.
Okay, that's great. And as you participate in two open source projects, so if how can
Three.
some oh three nice sorry as you
No
participate
problem.
in three open source projects, so how can someone find the right open source project to contribute?
For open source, like there are many criterias.
Hmm.
First of all, like what I look for when I select a project, I first consider myself. I look for the project in which I can contribute. Like if I don't know AIML, I don't go there.
Hmm.
I know C++, I know web development and some related tech stack. So I contribute according to my tech stack. I don't go there where I cannot do well.
Hmm.
First thing is that. Secondly, look for the project whose admins are active.
Hmm.
Project admins, project managers, because many a times we just randomly pick a project, and then if the project admin is not active or they are not responding well, so you kind of felt disheartened or discouraged. So
Hmm.
it is better to choose the project wisely and choose according to your learning. That is the most important part. And you
Basically.
can
Hmm.
you can see whether the project admin is active or not by you can go to the repository and check the commits. You can see whether the commits are very regular or irregular, and when the last commit had happened. So these are some criterias which will give you an idea whether the project is active or not.
That's great. And what are the some best practice for making a successful first contribution? बेसिकली लोग मतलब स्टूडेंट्स देख के ना ओवरवेलम हो जाते हैं थोड़ा सा कि सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स
Hmm.
हैं, हम ये भी कर लेते हैं, हम वो भी कर लेते हैं, बट
Hmm.
हमें जितना आता है उतने में ही हमें करना चाहिए आई गेस. So
Yes,
what are the some
definitely.
best practice for making a successful first contribution according to you?
According to me, don't pick too many projects. Pick one, two. Like in the social winter of code, I had to choose three projects, but I contributed majorly in that project in which the project admin was active. I chose the project according to my tech stack, and then I chose to contribute more to that project in which the project admin was active.
Okay.
So that would be one. And if you are new, you are just a beginner, start small. Don't go for big issues. Like you don't try to do API integrations, don't go for backends at first. You do some basic level documentation thing, or basic HTML, CSS, whatever. Even if you don't know any language, you can still contribute to open source. Like you can do documentation thing. Every project has its own documentation. Those who have studied in software engineering, they will relate to this very well, that documentation is the most important thing for a project. So you can contribute to that, those readme files, you can do that. And other than this, you can do the designing, graphic designers. You can do develop the UI UX जो template बनता है उसका, so you can do that. Other than this, you can also suggest features. Like when I was contributing in a project, I didn't go through the code base at first. I just I opened the site, I run the project, and then I saw where improvement can be done, and what are the issues that is not currently being handled. So that's how I chose uh, what issue can I raise. Because there are two scenarios. Like in one, you can get your own issues, like project admin already creates issues, and you just have to get them assigned to you. The second scenario is you can also raise your issue. So if you want to raise your issue, you can follow this practice. This is very good because this actually tells you where the problem lies, and it helps you do a meaningful contribution to the project. And since you do this meaningful contribution, it helps you get recognition. So it is a long term benefit thing.
That's great. So let's move to the part of standing out and winning in open source. ठीक है, and what are the strategies helped you stand out in open source program? What are the strategies you follow?
First of all, I was consistent. I never took it lightly. Just because you are contributing to other projects, it is not your own, doesn't mean you don't pay attention to it. So I won the Snowscript Winter of Code, which is organized by Google developer groups on campus IGDTUW. So it was a 1 month program, and it was very difficult to align all the things. Like, you have to go to college, you have to do this open source contribution, and at that time I was contributing to both this one and Social Winter of Code. So I had to manage those two, plus I was doing my DSA grind. So the best thing that I have learned there is time management.
Okay, oh, nice.
I am an early bird. I wake up early,
Oh.
and and the first thing that I do in the morning was contributing to this project
Oh,
in the
nice.
whole duration of that time. And I would suggest be an early bird, because uh, you can relate it to why there is an early bird offer. There is no night owl offer,
That's great.
right? And along with this, the strategies that help you to stand out, it is you do meaningful contributions. Just don't. I have seen people, they just raise issues like broken link, where you links are broken in web development projects very often. So they do this. They just put an issue, broken link. A link is broken. I need to fix a link. This is not that much of a meaningful contribution. So do what is actually needed. Do what is required. Even if it is like making a hamburger menu, or or making the design responsive. These are the contributions that is actually helpful. Do these, and read the guidelines properly, because in some of the projects there are certain rules, like they don't want to go beyond a tech stack, or something. Like, it may depend on the project, but go through that guideline so that your PR doesn't get rejected. So in mine, I raised 111 PRs in 1 month, and yes, they were some of them was rejected. I mean, apart from 111, but they were because some other person has already solved the issue. It was not because I have not done a meaningful contribution. So that helps you stand out, and the ratio to the successful PRs versus the unsuccessful was very, very less.
So apart from coding part, and what are the some non-coding ways to contribute to a open source projects? I'm sure there
Um,
are some parts.
yes, there are so many things, and I have already mentioned that. Like, you can do documentation, you can give the user interface, and you can do designing, you can do testing of the code.
Oh, yes.
Like, if there is a project related to programming, you can also there are so many test cases. You can contribute test cases there. Even lead code, who are doing lead code, they can relate it to better. Even lead code gives you that feature. You can add a contribution, you can add a question, you can add a test case, and you can report a bug. These are also the contributions. Like, if you are so pro, you can even contribute to lead code.
Oh, that's nice.
And apart from that, you testing and this helping others, that discussion forum, and this is what you can do.
Okay, so what challenges did you face while contributing and how did you overcome them?
Challenges. The first being was time, because as I was contributing already to two projects and mid semesters were coming up and I am regular in college. So the first and foremost thing is time management that I faced. And what I did, it is simple. If you are struggling with time, make a timetable. Just make a timetable. I woke up early every day, and for the first thing in the morning I did was contributing to open source. After then, I scheduled my day. Like then, I went to college. After coming back, I did my my learnings, like what I need to do apart from that. And even if I get time in the evening, I did some contributions then too. The
Okay.
second challenge would be understanding the code base,
Oh.
because there are so many contributors contributing to a single project. Everyone has their own writing styles. They all write code in like
Everyone
different
knows.
languages and different kind of, like if I create a variable, I name it like this. Like if it is counting candies, for example,
Okay.
so I would
Yes,
name
yes.
it like number of candies,
Ha ha
like
ha.
this. But some of the programmers or who are beginners, they put variable names like int count is equal to 0. Now
Yes,
what
yes.
is int
I
counting?
did.
You do this.
Yes, same.
You are a beginner now.
Yes, yes, sure.
So it actually when you put labels correctly, it helps your fellow contributors and even yourself, because
Yes.
you don't know when you return back to a code. Let's say you are returning back to a code after 2 years.
Oh,
Would you be able to get what is this count doing
I don't think
just
so.
looking the code? You would have to learn, read the question. You would have to learn everything what is being done line by line. So it is a best practice to put variable names meaningfully and put proper comments in the code, plus write clean code. You know, don't just do one thing in, like in one module, don't put too many things. It is one of the principles in software programming, like I think it is solid principles. One class should do one thing.
Yes, yes.
That's how you can even you can make the code scalable. You can, if you have to do a change, if you in future in some of the code, you won't have to do changes in the entire one. You would have to change only in that part, and
Yes, yes.
with you can easily identify where the issue is, issue is there. The third would be finding an issue. Like uh, in projects, there are so many issues, you know. Even if they are created by the maintainers, or you have to find. So if it is if they are created by maintainers, you have to find the issue along the uh, with your tech stack, what you can do. But if you have to find it yourself, then you have to go through entire code base. Like there are if someone is actually contributing to open source now, they would know like there are so many files, so many HTML files, so many CSS files. One file, a single CSS file is included in in numbers of HTML things. And so it is very important to to get to know the issue. So it was one of a challenge, and the solution to this is just run the project and search where you are lacking. You just go there, click on every icon, and see what it is doing. Is it doing it right or wrong, or can it do it better? So that's the thing.
Okay, okay.
And the fourth one that is most important is entertain the feedback many a times, because if you have chosen the project wisely, like I'm saying, then you can be very sure that the project maintainer or everyone who is maintaining that, project admins and managers, they will put you to the pressure.
Hmm.
They will get you through that. Like they will give you, they will also give positive feedback, they will also give negative feedback, and you have to entertain both.
Hmm.
If it is positive, be happy, and if it is negative, don't rush, don't be impolite, just improve yourself, improve the code.
Okay. Hmm.
And the uh, apart, along with these, the most important thing is reducing the communication gap, because I don't know whom I am contributing to, whom project I am contributing to, and I have to be sure that I am doing, that that person understands it. It he or she should understand what I did. It is required, or it is fixing something, or it is suggesting new improvement or something. Like it is a meaningful contribution, and I have to bridge that communication gap. And the best practice to do this is like put screenshots of what the project is doing, or put video tutorials. Like one picture is enough to say 1,000 words,
Yes.
right?
Right. Right.
So
Absolutely
do
right.
this. Don't write too many lines. Write only those lines which are required. Don't write too much. Just show them what you did, and they will go through the tutorial or the screenshot that you have put it there, and they will get to know what is being done. And this eventually increases the chance of your PR being successfully merged. So that's it.
So my last question is, if you get a
Mm.
chance to restart from the scratch, how it would be, and what are the mistake that you have made and you want to change it? So if no.
Uh, no, definitely there are some mistakes. When I started doing contributing to things, I I took more help of ChatGPT, I would say.
Oh.
Like I would suggest myself to do it on your own.
Okay.
Don't look for external help, because it won't help you in the long run.
Hmm.
So I did it in my first time, and then I didn't follow that in second and third. So
Okay.
I would say this: don't rely on ChatGPT. Do yourself.
Okay. And any other advice?
I had mentioned some open source program for the beginners. Like if you are new, I would suggest go with Girl Script Summer of Code, GSOC. Then there are so many beginner level programs: Social Summer of Code, Social Winter of Code, and there are so many you can even find. Even I find colleges and universities, they are now organizing their own open source program. It is much easier to contribute to these. And if you already have some experience or something, then you can go for professional level like Google Summer of Code. If you don't want to go to I mean technical thing, you can do non-technical work. Like there is Google Season of Docs. I get to know
Yes.
it today myself.
Yes, yes, there is.
And there are so many, you can search it. These are the ones that I find the good ones.
Okay. So thank you so much, Kashish, for sharing your journey and insights. Your advice surely help many aspiring contributors. And any final words for beginners? Matlab, what are the key things they should keep in mind while doing their contribution to open source projects?
For beginners, I would say start contributing with a community. Don't start doing it alone. Like you can also contribute to project without participating in the programs that I have mentioned, but it is better to do with that, because it gives you recognition, it helps you build network, plus it is much easier. You won't have to look for so many projects, and because GitHub is full of projects, you cannot shortlist them. So it is better to go through the community, at first at least. And second would be choose your project very wisely. If especially if you can select a limited number of projects, choose it very wisely, because this is the thing that can make your graph go there or go here. No, because if you once get to feel demotivated, you won't be continuing the journey. So
For sure.
that's the thing, choose your project wisely. Plus thirdly, uh, at first, if you learn something like web development or some basic things, you can start contributing. Even if you don't know, you can start contributing. Just don't wait for too much to start. Start early, and the process is good to go. And another thing is, do meaningful contribution. That is the most important thing, because if you don't do if you don't do that, later in the stage your PR will get rejected, so there is no point of that. You did effort and it won't be recognized. So do well what you do, and it would get some impact on the project. You will be good to go. And build networks. You When you find the people there, you can you find them there. It directly implies to they are active. So build a network there, build your LinkedIn profile, connect with them, and you will get to know many opportunities from there. Like the second one, the social winter of code, I get to know it from a friend whom I met in my first open source program. So that's how the networking helps you. So don't ignore networking; it is very helpful. Well, that's it. And just don't sit back and don't wait for someone to push yourself. And you are in college and no one is going to be there to push you every time. Take a step, get out of your comfort zone, and it is one of the best experience of your life.